Hello everyone, it's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Happy Tuesday! It's time for another Tuesday Night Lights. So we'll just, as always, we'll just wait a few minutes and see who is watching. And hopefully a few people will come on board. I'm right on time today. I'm so keen to be here. So, okay. Let's see who's watching. Oh, we've got one person already. Hi, Megan. Lovely to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope it's not too cold where you are at the moment. I've had to go and put socks on and a jumper, and I turned the heat on in the house for the first time. It's just a bit nippy. Yeah, well tonight we're going to talk about in colours, and I know a lot of people have been struggling with the in colours, so I thought we'd explore a different way to look at them that might help some people. So yeah, oh, you're finally over your cold, thank goodness. I was a bit worried. Yeah, it's I'm fighting a migraine today, so it's a bit icky. I haven't had a headache for weeks. And, oh, the trip was fabulous. Hello, Belinda. Hello, Glenda. Oh, yes, Megan, the trip was so fabulous. It, oh, you're finally here. Well, that's okay, Belinda. I know you watch it at other times. I bet it's cold out at your place, Belinda. Hi, Glenda. Oh, I am a bit envious of you. It seems a bit warmer up where you are. Brisbane isn't that cold, but yes, I have put the heat on, and yeah. Hello, Dawn. Lovely to see you. All right, well, let's get started. I'm starting right on time tonight. I was even a minute early because I want to talk to you about the new in colours. A lot of people have struggled with these in colours, and I don't think I can zoom them in because when you look at them like this, 8 degrees, that's balmy, Megan. After what I've been through in the last 12 days, it's really positively balmy. Yeah, anyway, so when people look at the new in colours, they go, ugh. Well, lots of people do. That's what my first impression was. And so I thought maybe if we look at them in a different way, it might help you love them a little bit more. So if we cover up all of the other in colours, and we just look at copper clay just by itself, and I will make a card, so, and then we have a look over here. So look at our copper clay, and then we have a look over here at our neutrals. It really fits in with this neutrals palette. So really what Stampin' Up has done with this in colour is they've given us an extra neutral colour, all right? So then when we look at the next one, the wild wheat, and we'll cover up the others as well. Again, that's really sort of a neutral colour. It fits in with that crumb cake, and it gives something for the other tones to feed off. So if you're looking at it that way, and then, well, boho blue isn't any, it's just a nice colour. But then when you look at Morty Mauve, or Moody Mauve, sorry. There used to be a Maudie Mauve at one point. And you look at it and you compare it to the Blackberry Bliss, it's sort of, they blend in together. So again, that's another neutral sort of a colour. And then when you go to Pebble Path, I love the blue one as well, Blender. And I got a blue mini embossing folder, mini embossing machine. And you look at your Pebble Path and it fits in perfect. It's just another shade of grey granite. So when you look at these in colours and you go, well really, they've given us 4 extra neutrals to use. So it makes it a bit easier when you've got when you think about it that way, to think, well, don't treat them as colours that are all supposed to go together. Treat them as neutral colours, and then perhaps you might like them a little bit more. So I thought that I would play with 2 of these in colours tonight, and I hadn't actually thought of treating these as neutral colours until my really good friend Meg pointed it out to me, and because she struggled as much as I did of, well, how do you use them? So I've been wanting to talk about those colours for a while, but I've been too focused on papers. So it's just a different way of looking at it, and I think that makes it a bit easier to then use them if you look at it in a different way. Right, so tonight we're going to play with the Moody Mauve and the Pebble Path, but not together, in 2 separate cards. I'm only doing 2 cards tonight, and they're going to be easy cards, and I'll show you another combination with those cards. So I've got some, remember I talked about the Blackberry Bliss, so I've got some Blackberry Bliss card space and some white for the inside. I've also got a piece of Moody Mauve, I got it right that time, and then another piece of white. So if we and we're going to use an old favourite, a carried over stamp set, Artistically Inked, and we're using that because I loaned some of my stamps while I was away, and I haven't been around to collect them, so I had to find a stamp that I could sort of use independently. So I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper, and I really do like this colour combo, and I will show you something else made with this colour combo. So we're going to start off with this Artistically Inked stamp set. I didn't bring the dies upstairs, so it's just stamping, and I've got the ribbon and I've got the markers, and I haven't really practiced. I've just thought, we'll see how we go. It's got some nice sentiments in this set, and I like it because it's that sort of that alcohol ink sort of look. So, well, let's see how we go. So we're going to start with a Moody Mauve ink pad, and a couple of people have had some problems with opening the ink pads. So I just want to go through, oh, it's a bit dirty. Just want to go through this again with you. So think of it like an old makeup case. So you've got your hinge here. So you're going to press your 2 thumbs down on the hinge, and then you're just going to flip it over. Now, if it doesn't slide smoothly, grab some lip balm or a candle and rub it along the sides, right? And so that's going to help it slide. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is, I just cleaned my block and it's not properly dry. I'm going to use this big stamp and I'm going to ink it up. And I am actually going to stamp it off because I don't want it to be really dark. And I have no idea how this is going to look, so if it looks horrid, we can turn it over to the magical other side. And okay. And I'm also going to grab my Moody Mauve piece and I am going to stamp that a few times all around the edges, just to add some interest to the card, because it's going to be a fairly flat card to make it nice and easy to post. Yeah. Wipe that off. Wipe that off nicely. All right. Hi, Glenda. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here now. We're playing with in colours tonight. All right. So I think we need some flowers. Oh, I also want to stamp the inside with that stamp as well. Stamp the inside as well. So let's give that a little rose. I'm going to grab a smaller block because I use a big block, you can see how it's got all that ink around the edge, because a big block gives you less control. So you need to use a block that is closest to the size of what you're using, of the stamp you're using. I'm just going to wipe all that excess off. Just get any of the baby wipe residue off. And I never can tell which way these roses are supposed to go, so I'll just put that there. And I might do a slightly lighter one off that side. I'll actually make another lighter one over here. So this is for the inside of the card. Okay, so I've got my 3 elements there. All right, then I'm going to put, so this will be a nice quick and, what do we call it? A quick and dirty card. Well, it won't be dirty, but you know, quick and easy card maybe, I don't know. So hopefully you like this colour combo. It is very dark when you stamp it on white. Have you been struggling with the new colours, Megan, so you haven't opened them? Okay, so now this artistically inked has got some dies that go with it. I didn't bring them upstairs, so I'm just, if I think I need to cut it out, Oh, you're just time poor. If I think I need to cut one out, I will. I haven't actually worked out which way the card's going to go. That's probably the most important thing, is to work out which way it's going to go. I think let's do a landscape card tonight. What I also want to add is, now you might wonder why I have this envelope, clear envelope in here. So when I die cut pieces and I haven't used them, I usually put one of these clear envelopes and stick it to the inside, and that's where I keep all my extra bits so that I can use them. But it takes a little bit of time to do that, so I might not have done it on ones that you have seen previously, but I do try and do that because it saves me a bit of time as well. Okay. I need to get a smaller block for my little spots because we don't want any ink bubbles. And I'm going to do my little spots. And see, I'm going to just click at the top. And that saves you, like if you try and get it like that, you can often get ink all over your fingers. Like I'm going to get ink over my fingers anyway because it's Blackberry Bliss. And that just happens for me. But I am okay with that. I'm going to put a few random spots, and I will add more. Probably do about 5, keeping in mind that we're going to have it going this way. Oh, let's add 7. So as always, add an odd number. So how's everybody's 2 weeks been? I hope you missed me. I miss being live, I can tell you. All right. But we did have a lovely trip. I saw an echidna in the wild, and I'd never seen that before. It was crossing the road, and we very nearly hit it. We had to swerve to miss it. But it was spectacular seeing that in the wild, and lots of emus, and we had to avoid a few kangaroos. So see how dark that is. Oh, you've always missed me. Thank you, Belinda. No, I didn't do any crafting while I was away, Glenda. I just didn't have time. Did a lot of photo editing because when we go on these trips, Steve takes photos, and he and I do the videos for the trip, and then you don't have a lot of time, and because they like to be on the road just after sunup, and when you're down south, the sun gets up a lot later. Okay, so you might wonder what I'm doing here. I'm just making a little mask with a post-it note. If I had been clever and bought the die cuts upstairs, I could have just die cut one. But anyway, it's just a quick mask. Hi Jody, lovely to see you. Yes, I didn't do any crafting really. I did a lot of planning at night. I have to say it was really quite funny because it's such an exhausting day, because you've got to look out for kangaroos and you've got to look out for When you're the support vehicle, you have to make sure that all the cars in your little convoy are together, and making sure that there's no car left behind, and so that is really an exhausting sort of process, because you're always thinking. Okay, I'm trying to think where we should put this flower. I'm thinking, let's overlap it. Now this could look awful. I'm just warning you, I haven't really thought too much about it. Now, what I did wrong with that masking is I put it too close to the edge. So you want it to be a little bit inside the edge when you're masking, all right? But nothing that a bit of Wink of Stella won't fix. Yeah, so I did go to a few craft shops though. Does that count as crafting? And I went to a Christmas shop. And I went to a tea shop, and I went to, of all places, a beer museum, which is ironic since I don't drink beer, but it was fun. They had lots of other things there. And I went on a paddle steamer, so yeah, a very different holiday. All right, so it looks very, what's the word? Looks very pink, doesn't it? A tea shop, yes. It was called the Mad Hatter's Tea Shop, and it was in Echuca, in the main street, and they had all these beautiful teacups and different types of tea, and they had a metre-high flamingo, which for some reason my husband didn't think was worth $800, and he wouldn't allow me to buy it and put it in the car because apparently we didn't have any room in the car. I just don't know what he was thinking. Like, it was beautiful. All right. And the paddle steamer was really fun because it just went down the Murray, and if any of you are old enough to remember, there was a mini series called All the Rivers Run. That was one of the paddle steamers that was running. I know, what a meanie, hey? But he tells me I might be able to get a souvenir from the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas, but I don't think that he's going to live up to that end of the bargain. So I'm using an old olive here. I've still got my mask on. I'm just overlapping my leaves, and I really don't know how this is going to work out. And it doesn't matter if you go over the other colours when you're using a darker colour like this. So I'm thinking it's starting to come together. What are we thinking? It definitely will need, oh, you camped for a month there. Oh, that's, yeah, we ended up on the Adelaide actually, Glenda, because the we were booked on the All the Rivers Run one, but for some reason it wasn't running that day. They were all booked out because it was the Steam Train Festival as well. Who knew they had a Steam Train Festival? So, like, part of my job was when on the trip was when we all met with the old cars at the basketball court outside of the main square, and we or main town, and we all the cars drove up to Denny or Deniliquin, and so my job was to film all these cars coming out of the car park, which was pretty fun. So we did try and stop some traffic so I could get a smooth filming, but yeah. Oh, that sounds really good. We didn't get time to do fishing either. That was a shame. Murray cod. We did have some Murray cod when we were down there. Yeah. So, what are we thinking about this so far? It's sort of a bit different to what I normally do. I'm a bright colour girl, so this is, and I like a bit more structure. So this is sort of a free-for-all, as Jody says, winging it, which she always likes. Okay. It's starting to get it together. Yeah, thank you, Glenda. I'm glad it's starting to look good. Oh, I had a mistake. If you don't hold this right, it comes up on itself, so you have to be really careful. So if you hold it on the wrong angle, like you hold it on a snail angle rather than a seal angle, it doesn't work as well. So how cold is it in Adelaide, Jody? Come on, I think you're the furthest south. It must be freezing. Is it still raining and flooding? Yes, it does glide better when you have the mat underneath. Yes, I agree, Megan. But that would mean I'd have to find my mat, wouldn't it? Whoops. All right. Now it needs a sentiment. I know that. So we're still unpacking at the moment, and Steve was supposed to go back to work yesterday, but he hurt his foot Monday morning, so he hasn't gone back. Oh, 7 overnight. Oh, it's not much colder than here. Not much at all. All right. So do we want the ribbon to the bottom or to the top? I feel like an optometrist. To the top or the bottom? What do we reckon? Bottom or top? Bottom. One for the bottom. Yep, I'm thinking that too. All right. So the first 3 answers are the ones that I'm going for, because that's the ones I like most. Now, as I said, this is a fairly flat card because I want it to be flat for postage. I find this ribbon really hard to tie bows with, so I'm just going to tie a knot. It's quite slippery, like it's pretty, but it's slippery. And it's probably a little bit thicker than I like nice soft ribbons. Let's just find my glue dots in the drawer. The drawer of requirement. It's a bit like a broom of requirement. If you're a Harry Potter fan. Not that I am, but I know what having a teenager when Harry Potter came out. I know what a broom of requirement is. Okay. So I was going to use Misty Meadow on this, but I like the Old Olive better because it's a little bit lighter. And I'm just putting my glue dot where I want my knot to be so it doesn't move when I tie it. So we're going to go left over right and under. So those of you who were a Girl Guide or a Scout will remember this. Okay. I'm not actually even going to, oh no, I will go, then I go right over left and under. And I've got myself a little reef knot that sits, whoops, thought I did. Little reef knot that sits flat. It's going to take me a few days to rearrange my office back to normal. Because when I came up here there was camera cables and chargers and computers and everything all over my workspace. Like we are. My little scissors. Ooh. So this is one of those ones that frays dreadfully. Oh, it frayed so much. I'm told if you fold your ribbon in half and cut it as a V, it won't fray quite so much, but we're going to make it so that the fraying is a feature. We want it to be frayed because it'll be a frayed knot. Oh dear. My sense of humour has really gone downhill since my travels. One of the guys on our trip, he told lots of dad jokes. So we were trying to find even worse jokes to tell. I like the sheer ribbons best too. Yeah. You don't have to laugh, Belinda, it really wasn't funny. All right. Okay, one of the most exciting things we did on our holiday, and it's got nothing to do with cars, is we went to a sheep station called Pepperton, and one of the fellows we were travelling with, his friends own it, and so we got to go out mustering sheep with the dogs, with the muster dogs. And they have 3 muster dogs and they were awesome. They were so quick and it was so much fun. And we got to sort the sheep. The koala, no, we did see a koala. I can't remember where we saw that. We saw the echidna near Bingara, which is just, or Bingara, which is just south of the Queensland border. We saw the emus outside Deniliquin. We saw kangaroos in front of our car. Yeah, but the sheep was so cool. They were so much fun. And the dogs were really good. There was 3 of them. So I just loved them. And they got really spoilt because my friend Ali bought them all a meat pie. They'd never had a meat pie in their life, but they, oh, the statue one, that was at, near Gundagai. So, at the dog on the, so it was 9 miles from Gundagai, where the dog on the tucker box is. Yeah, so that was fun. And, yeah. I was thinking you were meaning a live koala. All right. So we haven't quite finished this card. I haven't got a sentiment on it yet. See, I am not a quick card maker. I look at some of these people who can make hundreds of cards really quickly and I go, oh, I'm just not. I like to take my time and have a chat and be a bit social. Apparently I'm a bit chatty. I think I talked to everybody on our trip. Oh, we ate meat pies all the time. And the dogs loved having a meat pie. Yeah. One of the guys has had some pretty awful nicknames for meat pies, but it's all right. Okay, so we need a sentiment. I'm thinking that this needs a sentiment. Chat more than you. I think you meant to write craft there, Belinda. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Yes, they did. They do have the best meat pies in the country bakeries. So, all right. So we're going to do, let's see how this works. I want to bring in that beautiful Blackberry Bliss, and I say that with tongue-in-cheek because it's probably one of the colours that I struggle most with. And just going to pop that there. Hopefully that's not quite dark enough, but it will have to do because I don't have any jumper eyes up here. I'm just going to cut this off. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think single-handedly, the 8 of us on the drive down, 9 of us on the drive down, visited just about every country town pie shop we could think of. And it got to the point where I said to them, I can't face another meat pie. And they went, you have to have one. Another cool thing we did is we did a hot lap of Mount Panorama. So for you racing fans, you'll be going, woohoo, that would have been cool. And it was pretty cool. We couldn't do the speed we wanted because there was a police car there, but it looks impressive when you speed up the video. And sorry, no, we really went that fast. No, I don't think I like that. I think what if we let's do it on a piece of white instead. Yeah, I thought of you when I was doing that hot lap, Jodie. So for those of you who don't know what a hot lap is, you just do a drive around the race course and or racetrack. It's pretty fun. And we liked it, and the old cars got to go around twice, so I could film them coming down the home straight, and that was fun. Yeah. But it's lots of fun, and it's just an experience because you see those old cars on, like you see the cars in the races going around, and it's like they're doing 200 kilometers an hour, close to 300, and you go, I don't know how they could possibly go that fast because they're really tight turns and they're tighter. Yeah, you do. They were FB and EK Holdens. So it was part of the... They usually have a national event, and this year the Victorian Club was supposed to host it and they chose not to. So the other clubs hosted just a meet. So it wasn't a proper nationals, but it was a meet. And they had cars from Rockhampton, Perth, Adelaide, Sydney. There was 10 cars from Queensland that we all didn't travel together. There was, but it was lots and lots of fun. And so they're 1961, 62 Holdens. So they're just beautiful old cars, and some of them have been restored. Like one of the fellows who came, who's from Queensland, but he travelled on his own, and he was 87 and his wife is in her 80s, and they drove from Brisbane all the way down, and they have got this beautiful, beautiful original car. It's never been repainted, and it's just in immaculate condition. So, and yeah, it was, I don't know, he could barely walk, but he could, oh, the dots are up here and here. So the dots are, they are the in colour dots. Yeah. And then the fellow, one of the fellows that we travelled with, he had bought this car, and it had 4 other owners, and he tracked down the original owner, who was 90 something, 96 I think, and they lived on a farm near Wingham, near Taree in New South Wales. And so we all went to visit him with his old car, and yeah, so that's our first card with our, and I'll just show you another card using a colour, those colours. So yeah, so we tracked down this fellow, old fellow with his car, and he had a ride in the car, and it had been refurbished, and he had bought it brand new, and he'd owned it for 28 years. And so that was really, really, really lovely. So this one is made using the fancy florist stamp set, as well as the new circles set, and that's from the circle set as well. And again, that's that Blackberry Bliss and Moody Mauve. He was very happy to see it, and they don't have any children, so he was very happy that someone got to have his car and cared for it and loved it as much as he did. And the day before we got there, he was out, and his wife is in her 90s as well, and he was out digging fence posts. Well, his wife, who just had a hip replacement, she was digging the fence post holes, and he was putting the posts in. So it's like, oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to go on to our next card. But yeah, we made their day, and they had one of their friends' sons came, and we made his day as well, because he got to sit in the cars and talk cars while my eyes glazed over, because I'm not a car person. But it was just such a lovely gesture, and it was nice for him to see that his car was so lovely. So they're the same age as my husband, these cars. Anyway, so now our next card, and it's going to be a quick one, and it's going to be very, very simple. So we've got some, remember I said we're going into the neutrals. So this is the grey granite. And you know what? I didn't bring up the Papercraft ink. Oh, yes I did. Oh dear. Yeah, so I think these old cards run better than my husband does, so shh, don't tell him. Yeah, anyway. So we're going to try and make, yeah, they're going to try and make a sort of a masculine card this time, using the grey granite and the pebbled path, and not much else. So let's see how we go. This will be a bit of a challenge for me, but it's all right. Oops. Runaway stamps. I'm just wiping them off, putting them back in the thing. Now, people always ask me why I keep this rubber. I'll catch up soon, Belinda. See you Saturday, hopefully. Yeah, so, whoops, I've lost all my messages again. So we're going to do sort of a masculine card. We're still going to put ribbon on it, but we're not going to tie any knots or anything like that. We're just going to have a bit of basic ribbon. And we'll see, I'm going to use, instead of using white on the front, I'm going to use this piece of grey granite. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. So we're going to start with some pebbled path. I'm just going to stamp it off. So you can see it's, when you have it with the grey granite, it looks really grey, where it doesn't look quite that grey in the catalogue. So I'm thinking we're going to over this side, it'll be a bit easier for me. We're going to put 3 lots of pebbled path. So this one isn't stamped off at all. And because it doesn't go right over the edge, I'm just going to fill in the gaps. Then I'm going to stamp it off, and I put another bit, go this way, in the middle. Stamp it off again. Let's just turn it round. So we've got a bit of a pattern. So it's a bit of an obscure card, this one. Okay, just clean that off. I might just actually put a bit of that on the white for the inside. Very good. So it looks completely different on the white. Okay. So it's sort of that alcohol ink sort of look. Just wipe the pebble path off. No, there aren't any mistakes in card making, Glenda. I say that often enough at class, don't I? I'm really looking forward to coffee, cake and cards tomorrow. No, the stamp set, Jodie, is artistically inked. So it's been in the catalogue for a few years. I just haven't used it much. Alright. So let's see. So this is trying to make this a bit of a masculine card. I'm going to start. See if that works. It's very, very pale. Put that off again. Right. Stamp that off there. So, I sort of covered the whole thing. I'm not sure that I like that. I think what I should have done, and I could still do it, so I've got a magical other side. I'm going to just start that again. Yeah, it was a really beautiful suite when it came out, Jodie. Now don't be horrified that I didn't wipe off my stamp, because I was going from a light colour to a dark colour, so I wasn't particularly worried about the light colour contaminating the dark. But if I was going from a dark to a light, I would be really worried about that. So because I've already stamped that off once, I'll just stamp it there. Ink that again. And stamp it here. I'm still not sure this is going to work out the way I want it. I'll stamp that off. And stamp it again. So we're sort of doing like an ombre, but not really. Stamp it off, stamp it again. Getting there, it's sort of a bit patchy. So it's sort of making like your own pattern paper. Let's see if how the grey granite goes when we do it this way. And I'll show you both sides and you can tell me which side you like. It doesn't matter that they overlap. I want them to overlap. And I think my grey granite probably needs re-inking. I don't think I've ever re-inked it. So I'll just do a bit lighter. It's sort of looking a bit sort of ombre. It looks like a pattern. Oops, I forgot to stamp it off. Doesn't really matter. So I've covered it all in one colour. So it needs something, doesn't it? So, let's see what else is in that set. We've got those little dots, so they can sort of go randomly, fill in some gaps. I have no idea what I'm doing here, people. It's all right. So it's a play, isn't it? I haven't created anything for over 2 weeks, so please forgive me. All right. So I'm thinking that it's very, very abstract. It needs some, I think this piece here needs to be that little bit darker. What if we, with the flowers, instead of using them as flowers, we use them as just something else, a focal point. Okay, I'll wipe off any ink boogers that are on here. So they don't look like, let's do it on the dark one. They don't look like flowers when you only do them partly on. So maybe it's a bit of a grunge look. Maybe that's the effect I'm going for. Actually, that's probably is the effect I'm going for, is a bit grungy. So I want to make this a masculine card rather than a girly, pretty card. So that looks quite grungy, doesn't it? Okay. And we've got some, let's grab our Papercraft marker and just splatter some marker bits on there as well. Just do a bit of splatter. All right. So we need to, see it's sort of all blending in. But I'm thinking that the dark bit needs to go at the top and we need to put our best wishes down the bottom. And a bit of ribbon as an accent along the side there. I think that will work. So we'll get our best wishes stamp. And I will get my Papercraft ink back again, because that's a nice dark ink. So it's a very grunge look, completely different to what we did on the other card, isn't it? I'm going to put my best wishes down about here. Okay. Turn my cardstock over. Add some Seal Plus. Okay. Well, you can see the flower in the bottom half, can you? It's very monochromatic and let's see. Gonna put our ribbon on, cut it with our little ribbon scissors. Now, if you don't have a little pair of embroidery scissors to cut your ribbons with, I recommend you get them. They are just super, super sharp. And don't cut anything else with it. These ones are may have been used fussy cut. I'm just going to pop that there. All right. So, is this my favourite card ever? Probably not. Maybe. Do we need a white layer between those two? Let me just experiment with something. What if what if we put a little white layer on there? Hi Carol, lovely to see you. All right, I'm going to put a white layer on. Let's cut this to size. I think it needs it to make it pop. All right, so white's a neutral colour as well. So let's just see what size this is. This is 3.5 by 5 1/4. So we're going to make this 3 5/8 by 5 and whatever that is. 5 and something, about 13.5 centimetres. And let's see if this little poppy bit. So don't think you only have to use your white card for the inside, or use it for layers. It's really good. It makes things pop. All right. Hi, Vicky. Lovely to see you. All right. Story time must be over. All right. So, as I said before, earlier, if you go back and watch the beginning, we're talking about thinking of the new in colours as, some of the new in colours as neutrals, rather than thinking of them as a suite of colours. All right. So I've got, so this looks a bit grungy. Now this won't be to everybody's taste, I know that. And we will put our, we will tie a ribbon on it, just because we can. Give it a bit more interest. Left over, right and under. So if I didn't do left over, right and under, and right over, left and under, I would end up with a granny knot, and it wouldn't sit as flat. And we want it to sit fairly flat. And and I didn't do that right. And I always try and do my knots before I cut it off. Let's see. I need to put a glue dot underneath. Yes, we are going to have bling. Of course we're having bling, Jodie. Hope you're well, Vicky. Oh. We're nearly finished our second card. Yeah, second card. We're sorry, I'll need to put it back in the camera. Sorry about that. Still rearranging my desk. Now I need to tell you all about tomorrow. There is free shipping on all orders over 65 Australian dollars. So it's a really great time to have a look at your wish list. Look at what papers you want to get from the designer series papers sale. If you don't want a whole pack of papers, talk to your friends. They might go halves in a pack. I've had a few people do that and they're really happy because they've got just the right amount of paper, and go halves in packs of embellishments if you need to. Think if your budget's tight, talk to your friends and see what you can come up with, because free shipping is pretty good and the designer series paper sale is awesome. Okay, where are we going to put our pebbled path embellishments? I'm thinking we might need to put them, oh no, poor Hunter. Oh, I hope he gets better soon, Vicky. Give him a big cuddle from me. Tell him I'm sending him lots of hugs. Put these. So I'm going to use more embellishments than I would normally use on this. Although I haven't got them in the right place. Let's just take them off for a second. I hope he's okay soon, Vicky. He's my favourite little man, well, other than my nephew and my faux nephew. I'm looking forward to seeing photos of tomorrow at Coffee Cake and Cards of my dear friend's grandson, so that'll be good. Oh yeah, don't forget Coffee Cake and Cards is on tomorrow. If you are part of my team, don't forget about our Creativity Now Team Create Day on Saturday. Okay. So, I'm not sure I like that many. What do we think, ladies? Is that too many embellishments down the bottom? And yeah, I like the white narrow border. Yes. Oh, you're thinking top right hand corner. I could do that, Glenda. Let's do that. Thinking going down or across? Yeah, I like that idea better, Glenda. I think that's a much better suggestion. And I am going to, because I've already taken these off, pick that little one up. Oh, come on, don't be stubborn. Put that away. That way. There we go. We can spread them out a little bit. Yeah, I must tell you, it's a bit hard being back at work after 2 weeks of driving. Yeah, so that is our second card. So that I take that away so you can see it. So they were both our cards we created tonight were with artistically inked. And this is our first card. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Didn't stick that on the inside. yeah, both is with Artistically Inked. I sort of really like this grungy sort of look. I know it's not for everyone, but sometimes we have to sort of push our boundaries a little bit and show you something different. So I really like this one as a masculine card, just because it's a bit grungy. And I do like this one. Yeah, so that is my little lesson on how to use those in colours as neutrals rather than a feature colour. Yes, that friend hasn't returned all my new stamp sets. Yes, Vicky. But that's okay. I've only been home 2 days. Oh, thank you, Megan. Yeah, I really like grungy sort of stuff. So, and steampunk and all of that. And unfortunately, there isn't always a lot of opportunity with Stampin' Up to do steampunk and grunge. And so, whenever I can, I do try and do something like that. Yeah, and for those who wanted to know, these are the embellishments I use. They are the 2023-2025 in colour dots, and so they're adhesive backs. So you've got the boho blue, the copper clay, the Moody Mauve, the Moody Mauve, and wild wheat. Yep, and again, this is the other card I made with the same colour combo. And that is that New Circles, hang on, I'll tell you the right name for it. It's a bundle. It is in the new catalogue on page, if you want to know other ways to use, yeah, let's find it. The Artistically Inked stamp set, check out page 115. So it's got dies and stuff with it. They haven't really showcased it very well, so but there's some of the stamps from it. So and again, they've used that Pebble Path ribbon, and they've done it with the little bag, so that's quite cute. I'll just find this circle one. Wish I could remember the name. It's right near the front, I do know that. The circle sayings, so the band is made with this stamp. Then you've got the Thinking of You Today is those stamps. And then these are from the, I think it's Fancy Flora. I would have to look that up. Fancy Flora. Not good with names at the moment. No. It's not it was a Fancy Flora Sweet. I don't know. It's something Flora. Anyway, you'll find it in the catalogue. I'll find it and I'll put it in the comments. All right, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm sorry it was a little bit longer than normal. Well, it might not have been longer. Circle sayings, yeah. And I really enjoyed making these, and yes, it was a bit of a wing it situation, but I hope you like them, and we'll tune in next week and tell me what you want to see next week. Do you want to see a sketch? Do you want to see another colour combination? Thanks, Megan. My headache's starting to subside. I think it's just all the pollen and stuff. I've got to fight it. I've got coffee, cake and cards tomorrow, and I can't miss my ladies tomorrow because they are just such a fabulous group of ladies. I love them all, and they're lots of fun. So, yep, thanks so much. I shall see you next week. Bye for now, and I'll have new nails next week, okay? Bye.